There's a reason World War II field manuals have become a goldmine for modern preppers and serious history buffs. Those soldiers weren't operating in theory. They were freezing in foxholes, sleeping in blown-out buildings, and just trying to stay alive with whatever they had on hand. Heating wasn't comfort, it was survival. And what's fascinating is that many of the tricks they used, well, they still work today, inside your apartment, your workshop, your cabin, even during a blackout. These aren't gimmicks or romanticized reenactment ideas. These are practical techniques that kept millions alive when the stakes were as real as it gets. Before jumping into the list, here's the hook that keeps people watching. When you study frontline ingenuity, patterns appear, patterns that can literally cut your indoor heating needs, save you fuel, and give you skills most people today don't even know exist. What World War II soldiers understood better than most modern households is that warmth is rarely about temperature alone. It's about how you trap heat, how you direct heat, and how you stop losing it in the first place. If you've ever wondered why a freezing tent in 1943 could feel warmer than a modern house during a blackout, this guide will show you exactly why. And, more importantly, how to use those same principles right now, indoors, without spending a cent. Now, let's get into the real methods. Soldiers heated themselves by conserving body heat first instead of generating heat. World War II infantry learned quickly that the easiest heat source to manage was the one their own body was already producing. Indoors today, this means layering correctly, trapping warm air, and preventing sweat. Wool, which soldiers heavily relied on, still outperforms synthetic blends when damp. A modern application is simple, really. Put on a wool base layer at home before turning up any heater. You'll need far less fuel or electricity, and honestly, the warmth lasts longer. This works during power outages, winter storms, or simply when you're trying to cut the bill. They used microzones to heat only the body, not the whole room. Frontline troops often created small heated pockets in ruined buildings, closing off a corner with blankets, coats, ponchos, or even parachute silk. Indoors, you can apply this by isolating one area of a room. Hang heavy blankets over door frames or use furniture to create a smaller living zone. The temperature in that space climbs fast because there's less air to heat. Many preppers today still build heat shelters inside their homes using the same principle, especially during grid-down events. They redirected heat upward and inward using makeshift reflectors. In trenches and frontline cabins, soldiers placed metal sheets, broken vehicle panels, or mess kit lids behind small flames to reflect heat. Indoors, you can replicate this with aluminum foil behind candles oil lanterns or small heaters. Just place the foil shiny side facing inward and angle it toward where you're sitting. This doesn't create heat, it redirects it, which means you use every bit of energy efficiently. It's simple, silent, and honestly incredibly effective. They insulated floors because heat is lost faster downward than people realize. Troops often laid pine branches, spare clothing sandbags, or even cardboard to create a barrier between them and the frozen ground. Indoors, if your floor is cold, your entire heating effort is wasted. Add rugs, cardboard layers, or even folded blankets in the area where you sit or sleep. You will feel the difference in minutes because your body stops losing heat through conduction. They heated stones and used them as slow-release radiant warmers. This was common in both European and Pacific theatres. Soldiers heated stones near a fire, wrapped them in cloth and used them as bed warmers or to dry socks. Indoors, you can, heat smooth stones in an oven at a low temperature, then wrap them in a towel and place them near your feet or in your bed. It's honestly quite safe, energy efficient, and the warmth lasts surprisingly long. They boiled water for heat, hydration, and, morale at the same time. Troops often kept water boiling not just to sterilize it, but to heat the space. A pot of boiling water releases massive radiant and steam heat. Today, during a blackout, a camping stove, used only with proper ventilation, of course, or an electric kettle when the grid is up, can introduce quick warmth into a small room. Even a thermos of hot water held against your core, it mimics the World War II field method. They used layered curtains and coverings to control drafts. Soldiers hung blankets over windows and doorways to block wind. Indoors today, heavy curtains, blankets, or even shower curtains dramatically reduce heat loss. Many folks overlook windows as major heat escape points. But if you cover them, the room instantly stabilizes, and you really notice the difference. Back then, they slept in tight formation to share heat efficiently. Buddy heat wasn't sentimental, it was purely functional, just a practical way to survive those cold nights. Now, while this doesn't translate directly indoors unless you're with family, the principle remains the same: share warm air whenever possible. It's a simple, time-tested method to keep everyone warmer. Sleeping in one room, with doors closed, traps collective body heat and, increases temperature dramatically, especially during outages. They pre-warmed clothing before putting it on. Soldiers warmed socks and shirts near stoves or, under their coats before dawn marches. Indoors, place tomorrow's clothes near a heater vent, or perhaps wrap them around a stone warmer. This reduces shock to your body, and, it conserves energy as well. They rationed heat by cycling warm periods and cold periods strategically. Instead of constant heating, they heated in bursts. Indoors today, just turn on your heater for about 15 minutes, warm up your microzone, dress well, then shut it off. Repeat as needed. This method saves enormous amounts of fuel or electricity and, honestly, still keeps you comfortable. These World War II heating tricks weren't just theory. They were battlefield necessities, and, they still work inside any home today. If you found this guide helpful and want more deep-dive historical survival breakdowns, make sure you subscribe to The Prepper Historian and share this video with someone who loves real practical history just as much as you do.